Did you know that 92% of almost all DNA damage that happens to the human body is because of the deficiency of minerals? Yes, minerals are so important for us. And one thing that you and me consume every single day for mineralization of our body is salt. Now this salt can have the potential to have just a few minerals, or it can have the potential of having 82 minerals depending on the quality of salt that you take, the quantity of salt you take, and the source of the salt you are consuming. Let's delve into this a little more. Why is it so important to have salt? Your salt has a direct connection with your minerals. Your salt has a direct connection with your DNA. Your salt has a direct connection with your fertility. Your salt has a connection with your blood pressure. Salt has a connection with the fluid balance into the body. Salt has a connection with the water retention into your body. Salt has a connection with your heart health. It is this salt that has a connection to the inflammation. It is this salt that also has tremendous connection with paralysis or stroke-like conditions. Each time a low blood pressure patient feels a little dizzy, does not feel right, you take a glass of water, add a little bit of rock salt into it and a little bit of jaggery or honey whatsoever and give that individual. Within just a few minutes, you see that the person feels a little better. What was present in that single glass of water that made this low BP patient come back to normalcy? It is the importance of this salt. But there are so many salts in the market today. You see an Epsom salt, you hear a table salt, we hear sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, black salt, Celtic salt, iodized salt, so many different types of salts. So which salt is best for you? Let's delve into each one of them one by one. Now we know that when we speak about Epsom salt, it is magnesium sulfate. So when somebody is under the weather, has any flu-like symptoms, slightly feverish or having headache, then Epsom salt is good to use as a therapy. How do you use it? Take a warm bucket of water, add a little bit of Epsom salt into it and soak your feet inside it. And that makes sure that the magnesium enters your body, which is a relaxant and helps you in your condition. So Epsom salt can be used as a therapy. You could also use Epsom salt in any of your plants in your garden. So when you put your Epsom salt into the soil, it gives the perfect condition for the soil to enable all of this mineral content to enter inside the plant. And hence the plant gets maximum mineral content from that soil, which enables good fruits and good vegetables for you. So Epsom salt can be used for gardening. Epsom salt can be used for therapy and treatments. But we usually do not use Epsom salt for cooking related purposes. Now let's look at table salt. What is table salt really? Table salt is sodium chloride. Sodium and chloride, two minerals into it. So is this table salt good for you? We have heard that sodium chloride is extremely important mineral to have. Of course, we need sodium, we need chloride, we need potassium and we need calcium. These are few of the most important minerals that are required by your body. But is the table salt, which is also called as sodium chloride, the best salt for you? Now, did you know that if an individual gets an injection of sodium chloride, it can lead to an instant death just in a few minutes? Yes. So this same sodium and chloride, which is good for your body, can also prove very detrimental if the quantity and the quality or the source is not right. Most of your refined foods or your highly processed foods, your chips and your pizzas and your burgers and most of the tastiest of junk food that you get out in the market contains table salt. This table salt reduces the functioning of your taste buds, which means when you have just one chip, it does not make you enough. You feel like having more and more and more of it. You also want to have more and more of it because it also reduces the hunger signaling in your body. So when you have just one chip, it does not become enough. You want to finish the whole packet and then you feel the urge to have more. You eat a pizza and you feel like having more. You eat one burger and you do not know when to stop. That is because over a period of time, having this table salt will actually reduce the functioning of your signaling that tells you that your hunger is enough now. You need not eat more. And because that signaling stops, issues such as indigestion, issues such as constipation, issues such as bloating, and a whole lot of other issues can creep in, leading to complications when it comes to your health. Let's look at another kind of salt now, which is rock salt. Now we have heard our dadis, our nannies, our mothers and almost all of our ancestors would store water into a container and put a pinch of rock salt into it. It was considered very healthy. Now this rock salt does not just have two minerals like sodium and chloride. This rock salt has 82 different kinds of minerals, and it has minerals and trace minerals which are extremely important for the overall mineralization of your body. It is important for taking care of so many issues including hormonal imbalances into your body. So like the table salt, this rock salt, which is also called potassium chloride, does not really curb your hunger signaling. So when you are full, your body does get an indication that I am full and you don't land up eating extra. The sodium chloride produces an acidic ash after metabolism, whereas it is this potassium chloride or your rock salt that produces an alkaline ash, and hence it is easier for your body to absorb it. It is easier for your body to understand how much is enough and how much is an excess that needs to be excreted. The sodium definitely has a role to play in your body. It takes care of your nerve impulses. It helps you in digestion. It helps you in hydration. It also helps you in breakdown of nutrients to give you cellular energy. And hence the importance of sodium should not be ignored. Let's look at chloride now. It is this chloride that enables your body to carry carbon dioxide from your tissues to your lungs via the blood, and hence helps in excretion of that carbon dioxide, and hence chloride is also important. But what I am trying to tell you here is that just two minerals of sodium and chloride don't create the perfect balance into your body. The perfect balance comes with a rock salt, which gives you 82 different types of minerals together. And none of them is in excess. It balances itself out so beautifully. Your body cannot produce sodium chloride, but to believe that a rock salt does not have sodium and chloride is also not correct. When it has 82 different types of minerals, of course it has sodium and chloride. Your body cannot produce sodium chloride inside, so you need to consume it from outside. It will come from your fruits, it will come from your vegetables, it will come from your green leafies, it will come from your sprouts, it will come from your seeds, it will come from your potatoes, it will also come from your tubers. But the problem with a table salt is that you need more and more of sodium, and this excess will actually lead to water retention into your body. Why does it do that? Whenever you have a high content of sodium into your body, it leads to certain toxicity in the body. Now when there is toxicity in your body, your tissues want to naturally retain that water, because when it retains the water, this water is required to neutralize the same toxicity inside your body, and hence excess of sodium by just consuming a table salt is not the best option for you. Because of this water retention, issues such as swelling in your legs, or it could be an edema or even ascites, are very common. This rock salt is also very close to your Himalayan pink salt. So when you consume Himalayan pink salt or a rock salt, it is so good that it increases your immunity, and it exactly knows how much of waste has to be excreted out of your body, and hence the toxicity does not build up into your blood. When toxicity does not build, diseases do not arise. This same rock salt or the Himalayan pink salt also has the capability to reduce the toxicity that has been added because of sodium chloride. Let's look at another type of salt now, which is called black salt. I remember my mother always used to say that if there is any problem in your gut, stomach is upset, or there are any indigestion related issues, bloating related issues, constipation related issues, it's nice to take a glass of water, add a little bit of black salt and ajwain to it. Ajwain is your carom seeds. When you mix all of this and consume it, it helps you in your digestion, it helps you clear your constipation and keeps your gut usually clean. So what is it so special about that black salt that was added in that water? This black salt is nothing but a highly heated version of your rock salt. So say for example, you take a crystal of rock salt, the stone, and it is put into furnaces for a high amount of heat applied to it, which makes it black in color, and this becomes your black salt. But in the process of doing this, it also becomes medicinal. So black salt is usually used for medicinal purposes. There is another type of salt which is called Celtic salt. This Celtic salt is extremely good and I would rate it the highest amongst all of these. But it is also very, very expensive. To use Celtic salt is not very feasible for all of us on regular cooking basis. Once in a while consuming it is a good option. However, because it is so expensive, your next best options could be your Himalayan pink salt or your Sendha Namak, which is also called rock salt. Let's look at a very common salt available in the market today, which is called the iodized salt. Let's understand a little history of how did this iodized salt come into the market in the first place. It was introduced into the Indian markets when there was an epidemic of goiter. When there was an epidemic of goiter, we required iodine and hence an iodized salt came as an introduction into the market. Today, we do not have that epidemic and we can easily get iodine from your fruits, from your vegetables, from your green leafies, sea vegetables or wholesome plant-based food. So if somebody is consuming wholesome plant-based food, they really do not require an additional iodine to be taken as an iodized salt. However, let's remember that this same iodized salt is actually added into a laboratory and it may not be the most natural form. Try and consume iodine from the natural sources. And when I spoke about the rock salt, which has 82 different minerals, the same thing which is also called as a potassium chloride or a Sendha Namak, it does have iodine as well. Your Himalayan pink salt does have iodine as well. So it is important to make the right choices, to make the choices that come from the right source, the right quality, the right quantity for yourself. Now, most often than not, whenever we speak about salt, people also directly relate it to the blood pressure. That means if I consume a lot of salt, it will increase my blood pressure. So, should I really consume salt? Well, the chances of it happening if you are consuming a table salt may be higher, but if you're consuming a Sendha Namak or a rock salt, the chances may be less. When you have a high blood pressure, it is not just only the salt, it can be because of stress and a variety of other factors. So when you go to a doctor and the doctor says stop eating salt, well, he does not really mean stop eating salt altogether. He is indicating to that sodium chloride which comes from table salt. You also have salt in your vegetables, like your spinach also contains salt and a lot of other vegetables have salt content into it. So leaving salt altogether absolutely may not create the right balance into your body. Salt is essential for us. However, taking it in the right quantity in moderation is the key. An imbalance of any of those minerals into your body can create a havoc inside your body, and that balance will come only when you consume rock salt, which has a combination of all of these minerals in the right quantity. But it is also important to understand from where are you consuming this. What is the source of the Himalayan pink salt? What is the source of the rock salt that you're consuming? Today, adulteration has become extremely common, and if you don't check the labels and see if there is no adulteration into it, you will probably be misled. I hope this content was useful to you. If you have loved it, then please like, share and subscribe. For you, it is just a click of a button. For me, it makes a lot of difference in terms of helping to take this channel forward. So please like, share and subscribe. Also comment. I would love to hear your experiences and your views and thoughts about everything that we discussed in this video. Till we meet again in another video, Namaste.